up, y'all? Y'all know who it is, and today we are talking about being fit while you are in college fitness. We talking about, having less gut and more butt. We talking about combating that freshman 30. They used to say it was a freshman 15, but in actuality, you really gain like 30-40 pounds. So we're going to get right into a little bit of backstory on myself. I am a former fat girl. I used to be really big. I used to be really heavy. And once I went away to school, I kind of got into the habit of working out and just being more active physically. And a lot of my activities that I did in college, they stemmed from things that I did in high school. So when I was in high school, at first it was just like, oh, I just used to cheer, and then I started really getting involved in this stuff. So at one point in time, I was like swimming, I was like managing a wrestling team, which didn't really require me to do much, but sometimes I'll work out with them or whatever. And then of course cheer was something that was a lot more physically demanding as far as fitness was concerned. But when I went to college, that was a whole different story. It was a whole different story. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can stay fit while you're in college. These are tips that are based off of my own experience. So please remember that and know that everything that I give you advice on may not always apply to your university, but you should go look into it and see what your school has to offer. When I was in college, I mostly utilized fitness to keep me busy for the most part. Outside of wanting to physically look different and, lose some things and gain other things, fitness for me while I was in college was something that I intentionally built into my schedule to not only just kind of keep me going, but to also fill up my day. I've noticed that when I'm a lot more busy, I have a tendency to get more done. Now, I didn't necessarily limit myself to just gyms and things of that nature, but I also looked into like the rec centers at my school. So one of them is called I Am West, and that was one of my favorite places to work out. I Am West has a full service gym. They have racquetball courts, they have tennis courts, they have regular gyms with bleachers and basketball rims and things like that. They also have an Olympic size swimming pool. And for me, that was one of the things that I really made sure that I used. They also have like a gymnastics type of room where if you are into gymnastics, you can go and practice. They have beams in there, but that's in the Jennison Field House, which is not that far from I Am West. It's actually right across the way. I know also there is a martial arts room in I Am West. There is a boxing arena in the basement of I Am West. And also on the top area of I Am West, there's it's kind of like a track, but it's really long hallways where people use them to run, people use them to condition. And I Am West just has a lot of resources. So that was one of my favorite places to go. I used to have friends who worked there, and I had friends who also had passes to there. So we would go there, we would work out. But my favorite thing at I Am West was the swimming pool. In high school, I used to swim, and swimming just kept me together. I was on swim team, I swam competitively, and it was just something that I really enjoyed. Most facilities have open swim during a certain time, so I made sure that I looked into that because it was a great way for me to work out every muscle of my body. I also, in doing that, decided that I would curtail my eating regimen. So I decided to take on a vegetarian lifestyle as far as my meals and nutrition was concerned, just to see how it would change my body. So I looked into that, and I would go every day. I would swim for an hour. So I would get there, I would do as many laps as I could within an hour, and I would usually take a 10-minute break in between just to stretch and make sure that I wasn't getting tight or getting sore or anything like that. And then my last 10 minutes, I would be at the other end just diving off of the diving block just to have fun. One of the perks of I Am West is that they have a camera that is set up in the pool area, and after you dive, they kind of slow down the camera so that once you come up, you can see what your dive looks like on camera. So I really got a joy out of that. And as a part of me being a student there, that was just something that was free to me. Now, we also have an outdoor pool that is open in the summertime, and you can pay like maybe $2 or $3 to go there. But the indoor pool, I just much more preferred it. I don't like to swim outside anyway, so you know, I definitely looked into the resources that were available to me just because I was a student. So if you have rec centers or you have facilities at your campus or university, definitely look into them and see what they offer for students. See what their free programs are. I know a lot of times fitness facilities will host events. They will have programs there that are geared towards fitness. So you can go. Also, you can look into intramural sports. I know that at Michigan State, there are over 260 registered student organizations on campus, and that is inclusive of intramural sports, which can be anything from Quidditch to tennis to dodgeball to whatever you could possibly think of as far as sports are concerned. And those are typically free unless they are competitive. So you might have like a team fee or whatever. But in those situations, it's very likely that they will come with gear, that they will come with paraphernalia. And it's just a really great way to get involved in campus life and in campus activities. Going off of looking into programs and resources that are on campus, I know at Michigan State, there were quite a few dorms that had gyms or equipment within the dorms themselves that were free to the residents of that dorm. For example, there is a dorm on campus called Wonders, and it's in South Complex at Michigan State, and they have a gym in the basement, and it's called Wonder Bodies. Now, you can sign up for a regular gym membership with it, but I also know that in other dorms in Brody Complex, that there is equipment there that you don't have to pay for to use. As a convenience to you as a student, you have the free reign to use that equipment to however you see fit. I know that there's also one in the basement of Holden. There's a fitness room down there that you don't have to have a membership for. And there are also dance rooms down there. So definitely look into see what activities and what facilities are available to you as a student for free, because y'all know I like free, right? Y'all know I like free, right? You should like free too, because that is just something that is just amazing. Once you move off campus, for those of you who are living in apartments or something like that, usually apartment complexes also have gyms built into their like maybe office, or they have like a separate facility that residents can use to just get their fitness in and, you know, go for a run. They usually have things like weights, bars, they have treadmills, ellipticals, and almost everything that you can think of. Those resources are available to you just as a member or as a resident or as a student or being a part of that community. There are things that are available to you just because of where you live. So the last few things that I'm going to give you guys before we wrap this video up. Number one, look into programs and activities that your campus may have that are centered around fitness. Usually during the warmer months, there are activities that the school board may put on. I know at Michigan State, we had something called University Activities Board, and there were also student organizations that plan fitness events. So they have things like Zumba, and a lot of different neighborhoods on campus used to have certain things. So I know when I lived in Brody, every Tuesday night from 6:30 to about 8, I could go to Zumba and it was 100% free. I could enjoy, you know, that activity just because I lived in Brody Complex. Now, that doesn't say that other people couldn't come to it, but it was just something that was offered in Brody. Like, oh, go to Brody, you know. It was a great way for the University Activities Board to promote those activities on campus and to get other students who lived in other complexes to explore and go out and get involved in stuff. I know a lot of times fraternities and sororities, as a part of their weeks, they'll have like little fitness events. I know that over the summer, there was one particular organization and they would have like fitness in the park, and it would just be a great time for everybody to just come out and socialize with each other and work out and things of that nature. So definitely look into programs that are just put on by the school or put on by organizations, because they're always a great way for you to get involved. My last and final tip for you all is to look and see what electives you need to fulfill as far as your requirements are concerned that you can use for fitness. So I'll give you guys an example. I had a certain set of electives that I had to take just to fulfill a degree requirement to say, you know, this person is well-rounded, they have experience in this, they've done that. At Michigan State, you can take electives like wine tasting, sports, self-defense, It's a lot of things that you can do to fulfill elective requirements, and it's also an easy GPA booster. So if you do like a intro to volleyball 101, usually classes like that are maybe like pass fail. But if you were to do a class like, you know, volleyball 201 or a higher level, those are the ones that you get grades for. Like, you get a grade point average for that class. So if you 4-point that class, and that class is maybe 2 credits as an elective, it's an easy GPA booster, and you're also getting your fitness in. I know that I used quite a few of my electives for physical things just to kind of keep me on my toes. I did a self-defense class, and that was really fun. I did a couple of volleyball classes, and I also did like a mixed martial arts type of class, and those were just great ways for me to keep my fitness together and just kind of keep me physically active so that I could reach my goals as far as my looks. Because let's be straight up, okay? When it was time to go out to an event, you need to be just in case fine. You don't know who you're going to see. You don't know what opportunities are going to present themselves. So you always want to be just in case fine for college, because you never know when somebody's going to throw a party, plan a party. You're like, man, I should have went to the gym, because then by now I probably would have been good. No, just keep it up as you go. Try different things. Get out there. Use your electives. Get those easy GPA credits for electives and stuff that you like, because that's a plug right there. That's a finesse. A lot of people use electives and they take courses, and it's like, you could have fulfilled this elective by doing something easy, but instead you took a class that you got to write papers for, and that's not a finesse, B. Fitness was just a great way for me to finesse my electives. It was a great way for me to have fun. It was a great way for me to lighten my load when I had heavy course loads, and honestly, that's what I used my electives for. So, last example, that's what I used my electives for. Prime example, one particular summer, I took a summer class, and it was a 5-credit math class. Now, for those of y'all who know anything about credits, 5 credits is a heavy impact on your grade. So if you do good in this class, it's going to drag your GPA way up. If you do bad in this class, honey, it's coming down, okay? But knowing that I had this class, I was like, man, I need something to balance it out. And plus, I needed to be to at least 6 credits to be considered, you know, half time for the summer in order to get financial aid and things of that nature. So I was like, man, I need a quick 1-credit class that's not going to be too much with this 5-credit math class. Thankfully, I was able to take a conditioning class. It was during the summer. It was 1 credit, and it was just a really good way for me to incorporate my workout into my school schedule and get credit for it and have fun. It was during the summer, so I was like, oh, who don't like a summer snatch? I know I do. So it was just beneficial for me as a student. I was also working, so while I was at work, I was doing homework. I had online modules that I had to do, so it was a great way for me to just lighten my load and to relax a little bit. I hope that this video has been useful to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Get your snatch up, okay? Get summertime fine. Be just in case fine, okay?